After 6 o'clock p.m. time to give shout out, it's 6:25 p.m.
Sugar boom boom, I'm chasing dragons. This dragon's got my hand. Sugar boom boom, I'm robbing people, but I'm an honest man.
Let me tell you straight up, homie, this story's not rehearsed. Done my share of drogas, but we
Sugar boom.
Hello! West Alameda! It's after 6 o'clock. It's time to give a shout out. Thank you to all the frontline essential workers, to the doctors, the nurses, the longshoremen, the bus drivers, the truck drivers, the farm workers, those who work in the stores, those who work in the restaurants, the hotels, postal employees, the teachers, counselors, the parents. So please, if you can hear my voice, would you clap your hands, honk your horns, shout, make some noise. Thank you, frontline workers. Yeah! Oh, man. That little butterfly I had on here got flew away. Dang. I missed that butterfly. The wind would just make it twirl around and round and round. Oh, man. I liked that butterfly. Oh, here it is. Want my butterfly? I'm gonna have to go put them up so I can fix them for later. Where can I put them? What's up, everybody? Shipping on my butterfly here. So I'm gonna put them up in a little jar. Get to them later and figure out what I can do to put them back on here like my butterfly. Hey, Sandra, what's up? How you doing? Okay. Put some light on. So what's up, everybody? Everybody being me and you, Sandra. I'm doing good. So let me go ahead and get this started. You know, it doesn't matter who shows up here, because I know some people get on here later on or just get on here and look at it later, so it's okay. I'm okay with what I'm doing. So here we go. Today is day 448. And according to the Coronavirus Pandemic Live, as of today on June 22nd, 2021, there have been 3,901,677 fatalities from COVID-19 throughout the world. Right here in the United States, 617,854. And then if you look at the black, yesterday, this is what it was yesterday. Yesterday throughout the world, and today here in the United States. And that was as of 5 o'clock. And then if you look in the green, this is what it was in April 2020. So you can see how the difference is and everything. Okay, so let me do birthday shout out. This is today, June 20, Ooh, I said 21st. My bad, y'all. I keep doing that. It's the 22nd. Sorry about that. Today's June 22nd. I got this little marker where I write it on there, and I forgot to do it. You know, y'all, excuse me for that. You know, I'm there. Okay. All right, June 22nd, 2021. Today is the birthday for one of my grandchildren, Jaden Kent. He's going to start high school in September. So I was out to his house with his cousins and his siblings, and my daughter, two of my daughters, and two of my sons, and the son-in-law and daughter-in-law. And so it was Father's Day. We celebrated Father's Day, but then we also sang happy birthday to my grandson since we knew we weren't going to see each other actually on his birthday. So happy birthday, Jaden. Also want to say happy birthday to Sterling, Gloria, Wendy, Elena, and Houston. My Facebook friends, happy birthday to you. And if you my Facebook friend and I didn't put your name on here, it's because it didn't show up on my Facebook friend as your birthday. My bad. But happy birthday to all of you. On a historical birthday, this is the birthday for Catherine Dunham. And see, I did get the date right. Yeah, that was yeah, okay. Anyway, June 22nd, 1909, she died on May 21st, 2006. Woo, she almost made it all the way, man. 3 more years, and she would have been 100 years old. So this woman was like 97 years old when she passed away. She was a dancer, a choreographer, an author, an educator, an anthropologist, a social activist. She was the creator of the Dunham Dance Company for 30 years, and she was an innovator in African American modern dance. So, man, that sister was doing it. So, you know, happy birthday to you, Catherine Dunham. Happy, what is we saying now? Happy heavenly birthday. Okay, so happy heavenly birthday to you. Yes, ma'am. All right. Prayers and thoughts, as always. I ask everyone to pray. Put your prayers and your thoughts for the victims of COVID-19. And also prayers for people who had to go to the hospital for surgery, for operations, for physical, mental, emotional stress and things was going on because of our whole situation for the past year. So prayers and thoughts for all of them. Prayers and thoughts for people who have lost loved ones, family members, or just friends from things that had nothing to do with COVID-19. And that would include all of those who were killed, all those who were murdered by thugs, by drug dealers, the Ku Klux Klan, the Nazis, police, the gangbangers, rebels, vigilantes, road rage, FBI, co-workers, terrorists, domestic violence, ethnic genocide, and white supremacists. So everybody who was killed. And I would also like to include people who died because of somebody being stupid. Somebody who got high, somebody who got drunk, somebody who stole a car and was trying to get away from the police, and then they turned around and ran over somebody's loved one and killed them. So this is people who died because they were in the wrong place at the wrong time, and they died because of somebody else's stupidity. So I ask you to keep them in your prayers and thoughts. And also, I'm still asking you to look up Ronald Green. He was murdered by the Louisiana State Police on May the 10th, 2019, 2 years ago. And the body cam is showing you know, what's going on. Bahala Na. So this is what I got off of YouTube. Philippines, Duterte threatens those who refuse the COVID-19 vaccine with jail. Yeah, this guy, president of the Philippines, is one of those guys that believes that you don't do things his way, he gonna put you in jail. He's ordered the police in the Philippines and troops in the Philippines that when it comes to drugs, he ain't playing. All right, we're not talking about major drug deals. I mean, if he gets them, he puts them in jail too. And he also says kill them. So when they go to arrest them, if they try to fight or whatever, he says shoot them, shoot to kill. He'll arrest his own police commanders and generals or whatever if he catches them doing stuff. So now he's saying, if you don't go get that shot, you don't get the vaccination, you going to jail. And he tell you straight up, like, you ain't gonna like going to Filipino jail because, I don't know nothing about it other than what I see on YouTube, y'all, but everything I seen on YouTube with the jails over there in the Philippines, and man, they like overcrowded. It's nothing like what an American jail is like. I mean, American jails may be overcrowded, but they don't have people sleeping in the hallways and sleep. Anyway, it ain't cool. So back to my Bahala Na. St. Louis, Missouri, a black undercover cop by the name of Luther Hall, while spying on the Black Lives Matter protest in September 2017, was beaten by 4 white cops. Now, the jury found one of the cops guilty, and they gave Luther Hall $5 million today. So, I saw the video. I told y'all I'll be doing everything on, everything on YouTube. They messed that brother up. And the cop's defense was when they beat him up. So let's get it straight. He was not throwing rocks and bottles at the police. These are his co-workers. He wasn't doing that. His whole job was to be a spy. He's an undercover cop. That means he's a spy. He's there to see if Black Lives Matter people are doing something illegal, so that he can point out to his fellow officers, that guy over there just set the police car on fire. That guy over there just ran up and threw a bottle, a Molotov cocktail, or threw a rock and hit another cop in the head. That's the one right there. I saw him do it. Or I sat in a meeting and they were planning to break the windows and set buildings on fire. That was his job, was to do that as an undercover agent, an undercover spy. So when the cops jacked him up, they showed it on YouTube. They beat that man so bad, he had a big old busted lip, stitches, his eye was all puffed up. He got beat down. So the reason that the cops even end up being charged was because he was on duty. Luther Hall was on duty. And while being on duty, that's workman's compensation. And so workman's compensation, they didn't want to give him workman's compensation. So, they went like that. And then the federal government stepped in and they charged him. It was 3 white male cops and 1 white woman cop, and only one of them got convicted. One of the cops, he took his phone and broke his phone so that they wouldn't have no evidence of what he did. But anyway, props to Luther Hall for getting $5 million. I guess it was worth being a spy. That was his job. I'm not mad at him. That was his job. That was what he was supposed to do. Okay, Sandra, have a good Bible study, dear. Take care. That was his job. He was supposed to do that, and that's what he did. So, okay, more power to him. Washington, D.C., the Republicans blocked the voting rights bill. Okay? They blocked it in this. It's just like they've already, and they did it as a group. They've already decided they're not going to do anything for helping the Democrats or making Joe Biden look good. They're just not going to do it. I mean, yeah, so that's what they did. All right. June 22nd, 1839. 3 Cherokee tribal leaders who signed the Treaty of New Ochota of 1835. New Ochota was in Georgia. And they gave up their homeland to the United States government, with the result being that the entire tribe was relocated and they were forced on the Trail of Tears in 1838. Now, if you guys look up the Trail of Tears, they just basically took the entire tribe and put them on the road to go from Georgia to Oklahoma, which was known as Indian Territory. Now, one thing about the Cherokees, remember we talked about the Apache and the Sioux and the Cheyenne, and how their kids were being forced to go to school and learn how to be white men, learn how to be white people, and learn the ways of the white man. And they cut all their hair off and told them they were not allowed to speak the language of their tribe. They could only speak American, only could speak English, only could speak the white man's tongue. So the Cherokee, so the whole purpose of that was for assimilation. They wanted the native indigenous people to assimilate with the white America. The Cherokee, they had their own damn alphabet. I can't think of the name of the Cherokee who came up with the Cherokee alphabet, but they did. They assimilated with the white man in Georgia. They was wearing white man's clothes. They had white man's farms and white man's houses, and they had slaves just like the white people. They had slaves. The Cherokee had a whole lot of African enslaved people. So there was like a lot of controversy over this treaty giving up their land, because a whole lot of territory in Georgia was Cherokee land. There was like maybe 10 tribal leaders who decided that they would, sign the treaty. Basically, they were being forced by Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson's the one that's on the $20 bill. Andrew Jackson, the slave owner. Andrew Jackson, the Indian killer. That was him. That Andrew Jackson. And he basically forced them to do it, and when the Cherokee went to Washington, D.C. to try to negotiate, the government said, no, we don't want that one. We don't want that one because they're against what we want, so therefore send somebody else. So basically they wanted to have a stacked deck. Long story short, these Cherokee signed the Treaty of 1835, and in 1838, the tribe was forced to relocate. That's the word, huh? Relocate. Isn't that what the Americans said about the Japanese? We put them in relocation camps for World War II. But anyway, they sent them out there, and they sent them in the wintertime, so they're freezing. And the Cherokee was allowed to take their African slaves with them to Oklahoma Territory. Well, in 1839, on June 22nd, 1839, 3 of the Cherokee tribal leaders who signed the treaty were assassinated by those who were opposed to the treaty. It was the start of a conflict, the Cherokee Civil War. Now, during the Civil War between the Union and the Confederates, the Confederate government sent agents into Oklahoma Territory to negotiate with them and with the tribes. And the tribes were told by the Confederates that, hey, you support the Confederacy and we will make sure that you get more land, you'll have more freedom, because the Union ain't gonna do all this. And a majority of the Cherokee signed up to support the Confederates. Okay, don't forget these guys were slaveholders too, and they were like the most assimilated of the tribes. They were the ones who tried so much to be like the white man. So being like the white man, you go fight to keep your slaves slaves. So they were actually fighting to keep their own slaves as slaves because they brought their slaves into Oklahoma Territory with them. One of the most famous Native American generals that fought on the side of the Confederates was Stand Watie. In fact, he was one of the last Confederate generals to surrender at the end of the Civil War. He didn't surrender in April when Robert E. Lee did. He surrendered like 2, maybe 3 months later. So, and even when the Civil War was over, there was still conflict and still funk going on, funk, F-U-N-K, between those who supported the Confederates and those who supported the Union. So that's what that was, okay? So, hey, y'all, that's my little thing for today, June 22nd. And let me turn the camera around. I want to thank you all for coming up here. All you, Sandra, and you, Brenda, thank you. I appreciate y'all doing that. And, but, see some little, I guess that is Paulette coming on here. I didn't see her name on here, but hey, Paulette, what's up? Good to see you on here. Thank you for showing up. But anyway, that's the whole thing with this. And, I've been trying to do this thing at 6 o'clock, and it's getting closer and closer to 6:30. So I don't know how this is working out. I'm trying, y'all. I be trying. Let me get up out of here. Y'all know I got vaccinated. If you don't know, I let you know I did get vaccinated. But I am totally in disagreement with this fool, Duterte, president of the Philippines. I mean, he's like a dictator. He's like, he does all the stuff in the Philippines that Trump tried to do, that Trump would love to have done when he was a president and stuff. But, we have checks and balances. And even though a lot of times it didn't seem like it was really working because Trump is such a clown, but this guy Duterte, man, he just has people killed left and right. So he's a Duterte. He's the president of the Philippines, the land where my mom was born. So I hate to say it, I think the dude might even be a Visayan. I got to look that up and see if he's the same tribe as my mother's people. But anyway, I don't agree with forcing anybody to get a vaccine. People have to do what they feel is right for them. People have to do what's best for them. So if y'all don't want to get vaccinated, believe me, I'm not one of those that say you need to be forced to get vaccinated. I wish you would, but if you don't, hey, BAHALA NA. Remember when I told you, BAHALA NA, it is what it is. What will be, will be. You fall down, get up, and start all over and keep on doing what you got to do. Okay, so, BAHALA NA. Mabuhay. Aman la uwe tu. Ashe. Harambe. Hokahe. Jayu. Mahalo. Shalom. Namaste. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam. Insha'Allah. Oh, and we can't forget this. Wakanda forever. And, hey, y'all. Whatever you do, stay safe. Watch your back out there. There's some crazy people. The other day, I was driving home. My neighbor was behind me. And on Buena Vista, there's like a big truck blocking the street. So I'm waiting for the other cars, because I got to go around this truck. And so there's cars coming from the opposite direction. So, we're just waiting and, waiting. We're giving each other, one go, the next one goes. We're trying to do all that. So when it was my turn, I come around. This fool come in the opposite direction and came that close to hitting my car. And then, I was like, oh, man. And I had just had a conversation about, I had just had a conversation with my friend about don't be honking at nobody, like, And on a little honk, I was beep, beep, but not on this side. This time I honked my horn like, ah, and dude just kept on going. But all that, and he got caught by the red light. So he not only almost hit me coming towards him, he almost hit the car that was in front of him trying to get around. Basically, it was two cars in front of him, and he was not patient. So he came around the two cars in front of him, almost hit me, almost hit the two cars in front of him, and he got all the way up to the corner and got caught by the red light. I'm looking at him in the mirror, and the dude, because everybody was honking at him for almost getting everybody in the accident, and the dude jumps out his car like he want to fight. The guy who was in the wrong, so his passenger jumped out. It was a little youngster. And I'm looking in the mirror, and all that. I was like, oh, man. And that's when it brought to me what my friend was telling me about, because I was like, hey, all I did was give a little honk earlier. And she said, yeah, but people get mad, want to fight over that. And so I want to say thank you because I learned my lesson. I'm like, ain't nothing worth getting killed behind honking on. I'm like, I'm just glad we didn't get in an accident. I'm glad that fool did not hit my car. I'm glad he didn't hit nobody else's car. I'm glad he didn't get out that car and start shooting at the dude behind him because the dude had honked at him. Yeah. But anyway, y'all, that's just my little tidbit. I guess that's what you call it. But my little confession that I need to listen more and hear what people say, because people do have some good advice, good wisdom. So thank you for telling me that, and I appreciate it. Because I don't even think I'm a beep beep. I'm not even going to do that. Because, like, it ain't worth nobody getting killed over no stupid stuff. I mean, if you would have hit my car and then got out and stuff and then we end up having a fight, I'm going to fight. I'm not going to sit there and let nobody beat me. When I was a bus driver, that was my attitude too. I'm not going to let you beat me. You might beat me anyway, but I'm not going to sit there and let you beat me. So we just have to fight. Anyway, y'all, I'm going to get up out of here. I still wear a mask when I go out, and I am vaccinated. But y'all, do whatever you need to do to keep yourself safe and to be safe. And one love, pray for me and mine, and I'm praying for you and yours. I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.